Today we're doing a video on how to change out your shift knob and shift boot for from your stock to a custom one. This is the stock. I had changed out the letter coloring it to green because I'm going with a green and black theme on my car, but I found a nicer one that I like that I'm changing up to, from 6-speed transmission shift knob, and also the green stitch shift boot that's leather suede. So you got your stock one here. First off, you're going to need these tools. You're going to need a wrench. I'd go with the adjustable one so that you can change up the size if you need to, tighten it down, just in case you don't have metric or SAE. It's a lot easier. You're going to need a flat blade screwdriver so that you can get into your panel, or you're going to need a trim tool that you can buy. Usually you can get them on eBay for like $8, $10, something like that, for removing trim panels such as your door panels and your center consoles, dashboard, all that stuff. And depending on who you're getting your shift knob from, you might need some vice grips, or maybe two, depending. So what you're first going to do, you're going to use your screwdriver right here, and you're going to pry, I would suggest on the side or somewhere where you have a little bit of a start where the pieces come together. Wrap it in masking tape if you're concerned about scarring up your console any, or if you've never done it before, just so you don't scar it up. And you're going to pry it up. It's just little plastic clips under here that retain it in place. You're going to pry it up and you're going to pull it off to get it to come up. You're going to unscrew your shift knob. It just hand screws on. It's like you can see the little screws in there, the threads. It just hand screws on and off, pretty easy. Underneath that, you're going to have this retainer. This retainer also holds on to your plastic clip that holds your shift boot in place for your stock shift. It's also got like a little zip tie around it to hold the leather onto it. But you're going to pry down, and these little clips right here are going to literally be over the top of this the shifter, and they're going to cling on to the bottom of this like right here, this little shift retainer. So you can use your screwdriver, your flat blade screwdriver, and pry those open and move it around with your other hand and kind of work them down to where they're off the shifter, or the shifter retainer for the knob. And you're going to screw it off with your wrench, or you can use your vice grips if you want to, especially if you're like me and you're not going to use it again and put it back on. Then this all just slides off, and up and over your shifter, and all that just slides off. Underneath here, you're going to have 4 little screws like this. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. You're also going to have 2 little plastic clips, one on each side, that you're going to need to you can use your finger and just pop them off, and it opens up this area right here where mine's got a green ring around it. It's going to open this off, and with your shift boot and everything attached, it'll come apart easily. Your shift boot comes out, and it's got this black plastic retainer, which I don't know if you can see it that well. It's got this black plastic retainer in here, right there, that goes all the way around inside the green piece, well, my green piece. And it's got, that retainer holds your shift boot, kind of like gives it a form at the base. You don't have to put that back on. but I would suggest it. It helps keep the dirt and everything out of your shifter area, where the pieces actually need to be kept clean as possible, greased up, all that kind of stuff. And when you pull it off, you're going to have two little staples on each side on that plastic black piece that hold down your shift boot. I pulled those off, and I didn't put any new staples in place, but I wrapped the new shift boot around it and put it back in the green beauty ring and screwed it down. Now when you do this, depending on who you get your shift boot from and how well it fits, you may have to trim some to make sure that your pieces fit right back together. Otherwise you have like some extra leather or some of the shift boot hanging out here and there and whatnot. Slide that back down over your shifter, and you're going to put your retainer nut in here for your new shift knob. And you're going to take and screw that down with your wrench. And 6-speed, even though that they do fit, it is a tight fit. And I do mean it is a tight fit. You're going to have to put a little bit of elbow grease onto it to get it to go down. It doesn't strip your threads or anything like that, but it is a tight fit. And which I guess in the end is a good thing, because that way it's not going to just come loose at any time. You're also going to have this fitting, this brass or this fitting right here for your shifter, because your shifter is not the same size as your other one. This is their stock, and then that's your new shifter. So they're not the same size. So you got these. 6-speed gives you these retainer screw, and it gives you the fitting for it as well. And you're going to use your vice grips. When you screw this down by hand, so far you're going to use your vice grips and clamp onto this bitch, and you're going to really tweak down on it and go round and round until you get it screwed down to the height that you need it or want it. And then you're going to take your shift knob, your new one, and you're going to put it on there. If I can get it started right again. You get on there and it just hand tightens down. Like so. And then if you haven't already, you can put your piece back in place. It just snaps back down all the way around. Bring your shift boot up to where you want it to be. And it pretty much stays where you want it, all the way up there, by the just the stiffness of the leather and whatnot. And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it was helpful.